Today we discussed about the part mechanism of hormone actions. What are hormones? Hormones are chemicals produced by endocrine glands. Hormones are different types of chemicals produced by endocrine glands. These hormones control metabolism and physiological activities. These hormones control metabolism and biological activities. What is metabolism? Metabolism means the altogether chemical activities that occurred in cell inside. Then biological activities means all physical activities like digestion, respiration, excretion, etc. are biological activities. The hormones made up of amino acids, carbohydrate groups and other molecules. Mainly amino acids, carbohydrate groups. First, amines. First type, amines. Amines are simple molecules. Proteins and peptides are chains of amino acids. Proteins are split to peptides and again these peptides are split to form different amino acids. So, second type, proteins, peptides and are chains of amino acids. Second type, proteins and peptides. They are chains of amino acids. Chains of amino acids. Third type, steroids. That derived from cholesterol. Steroids are derived from cholesterol. The main endocrine glands are pineal, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, adrenal gland, pancreas, testis and ovary. Pineal gland, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, adrenal gland, pancreas, testis and ovary. All endocrine glands are ductless glands except pancreas. Pancreas is the ducted gland, ducted endocrine gland. All others are ductless glands. The hormones creating in different types of endocrine glands. These hormones passing through blood and approach target organs. The hormone receptors. The hormone receptors, that is mainly proteins. The hormone receptors, they are mainly proteins. Located in target tissue bind specific hormones to form hormone receptor complex. The hormones receptors located in target tissues bind specific hormones to form hormone receptor complex. Hormone receptor complex. The receptors present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors. What is intracellular receptors? Intra means inside. Intracellular receptors means the receptors present inside the target cell. The receptors are specific to hormones. There are different types of receptors that seen inside the cell and the peripheral part. That means membrane, cell membrane. They are specific to hormones. Specific receptors bind to specific hormones to form complex. Particular hormone bind with specific receptors only. Then hormone receptor complex lead to certain biochemical changes. These hormone receptor complex lead to certain biochemical changes. These biochemical changes in metabolism, physiological functions, etc. The certain biological or biochemical changes that occur in metabolism and also in physiological functions. So hormones regulates all these matters. There are three types of hormones. First, peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones. First category or group, peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones. Example of such type are insulin, pituitary hormones, glucagon, hypothalamic hormones. Hypothalamic hormones. The second category, that is steroids. The second category of hormones are steroids. Example, cortisol, testosterone, estradiol and progesterone. Examples, cortisol, testosterone, estradiol and progesterone. The third group of hormones are amino acid derivatives. Amino acid derivatives. Amino acid derivatives. Example, epinephrine. Epinephrine. There are mainly two types of mechanisms of hormone interactions. There are two types of mechanisms of hormone interactions. First type, hormone interact with membrane, cell membrane. Hormone interact with cell membrane. The cell membrane bound receptors. Here, hormone not enter into the target cell. The first type of mechanism. Example, this is the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, one of the protein hormone. Here, this protein, this hormone interact with the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane bound receptors. Here, hormones not enter into the cell. Here, this protein not enter into the cell. This only interact with the cell membrane, like lock and key mechanism. This type of hormone generate second messengers like cyclic, AMP, IP3, calcium, etc. These are known as second messengers. These second messengers regulate the cellular metabolism. This is an example of protein type of hormone. They never enter into the cell. They only interact with the cell membrane. This is the receptor. This is the hormone. Next type, hormone which interact with the intracellular receptors. Next type, hormone. Example, estrogen. It is a steroid type of hormone. Estrogen is a steroid type of hormone. The hormones which interact with the intercellular receptors. These hormones enter into the cell and act as intracellular hormone and bind with the intracellular receptors. Example, steroid hormones, iodothyronine, etc. These hormones mainly regulate gene expression or chromosome functions by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. We already discussed about the genome. The biochemical actions result in physiological and some type of developmental effects. The first type, the hormones interact only with the cell membrane. Hormones only interact with the cell membrane. These hormones never enter into the target cell but act as primary one, and they stimulate the second messengers like cyclic, AMP. The primary hormone stimulate the second messengers. The second messengers like cyclic, AMP, IP3, calcium ions, etc. These second messengers regulate cellular metabolism. The second type, that is example of steroid hormones. These steroid hormones which interact with the intercellular receptors, they enter into the cell. Example, steroid hormones, iodothyronine, etc. These hormones mostly regulate gene expressions or chromosome functions. The biochemical actions result in physiological and developmental effects. Steroid hormones enter into the cell and act directly and control some biological activities and developmental activities. Now we complete this session.